Let's get across the market open now. Josh Barker joining us from RiverX. Good to see you on this Thursday. Just looking at the local market, futures indicating another positive start. We're going to be pushing towards another record, aren't we?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that breakout that we had the other day was really quite significant, and we're seeing a few of the other sectors play a bit of catch up to the performance of how the banks and a few other those large caps are going. So starting to see a lot of the materials pick up, and it has largely just been dragged up by a strong Wall Street though, however, which just, again, continues to break to all-time highs.
How are you playing the materials sector at the moment, given, see, we've spoken earlier obviously about the rotation out of the banks into some of the larger mining stocks, and obviously, those bigger miners also benefiting from a higher iron ore price.
Yeah, exactly. I think the best way to play it is the bigger names. So specifically BHP with the iron ore and copper exposure is something that we like as well, especially if these tariffs start to cool off and reach an agreement with a lot of these countries. It's going to get back on that economic growth tune. So we're going to see copper, really start to pick up. It's used in a lot of things. We've seen a lot of the spend go into cloud and data centers. You've got your EV transition. It's used in just about everything. So I think with just the general broad tone of China picking back up and, that benefiting BHP, it's also got those other components that are doing really well for the business as well.
So taking a look at Wall Street, S&P taking out another record. Of course, this is in the midst of earnings results. We had a positive result after the bell from Alphabet. Not so for Tesla. More broadly though, also some boosting investor sentiment was the prospect perhaps of a trade deal with the EU following the Japanese one.
Yeah, there's plenty happening on a company specific level. We saw last night a lot of the European car manufacturers enjoy a really strong boost. So the market's got a lot to sort of price in and celebrate, and that's why it's pushing on to highs. We've got the deal done with Japan, with the US, and then obviously the market's looking for somewhat of a very similar deal to happen with Europe in the coming days or potentially a week or so. And then you've also got these really large mega cap companies like Alphabet that are reporting really strong numbers, continuing to bring in the cash and continue to spend that on expansionary areas such as its cloud products and software. So we're seeing a lot of really positive economic data as well as the company data that's both combining right now to really bring this market up in a big way. All right.
How are you playing the US market?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. It's hard to deny this US tech dominance at the moment. It's really something that, it's been prevalent for a long time, but it's really in focus at the moment with AI, NVIDIA. There was a company that supplies chips to NVIDIA that's up 70% out of South Korea as well. So there's a lot of other beneficiaries of these large mega cap names. For example, we're looking at companies that have got a really good, strong inroad to the tech side of things, and especially specifically in America. So looking at Light & Wonder, which is a gambling stock, they have operations in America. It's dual listed as well. And we're looking to basically emulate the same success that the Aristocrat share price and market cap and revenues have done. It's growing quite strongly. It's largely touted as the number 2 or 3 in the space, both in Australia and in America. But the real growth is happening, and where Aristocrat is spending its money now is on that online gambling. Your sort of physical gambling is set to grow at around that 6 to 8% over the next 5 years, whereas that online component is more, in the mid-teens growth. And Light & Wonder actually have a lot better positioning specifically in the online American sector than Aristocrat do. It's looking to expand in that, but interestingly enough, Light & Wonder's got that front foot. So we could see that start to pick up a lot of market share. Right now it's about 10 or 20% market share, and Aristocrat is about 50. So we could start to see that gap bridge essentially, and that should flow nicely onto Light & Wonder's earnings and profits.
And so Josh, overall, you're remaining fully invested given where market valuations are at the moment, but also perhaps bearing in some seasonality where markets tend to come off a little in August.
Yeah, look, it's hard to deny a market that's breaking out to all-time highs each and every day, especially given the volatility that we saw recently. Market recovered completely from that and broke to new highs, I think was really the significant part that we saw after that short, sharp downturn we saw. So it really just highlights the strength of companies and corporate profits right now, despite the economy being okay. It's not great. It's not as good as the numbers we've seen, but it's definitely not dire at the same time as well. Unemployment's still really low. Everyone's employed, spending, consumer habits are still quite high, and we're seeing really decent economic growth numbers out of America and here in Australia as well.